Ladies and gentlemen, many of you remember Aaron Dean, the cop that murdered Atatiana Jefferson. Well, he wants the judge to throw out his manslaughter conviction. The nerve. No, Aaron Dean needs to serve that little 12-year sentence that he got. He really should have got way longer than 12 years, as far as I'm concerned. Former Texas cop asked judge to throw out manslaughter conviction in killing of black woman Tatiana Jefferson, citing pre-trial publicity. Man, get over yourself. Shut up and do your time. The former Fort Worth police officer has asked the state judge to throw out his manslaughter conviction for the death of a Tatiana Jefferson, who was shot through a window in 2019 while spending quality time with her nephew. Aaron Dean, who is white, is currently serving a 12-year sentence after a Tarrant County jury convicted him of manslaughter for killing 28-year-old Atatiana Jefferson in her mother's home in Texas 4 years ago. Last week, defense attorney Bob Gill argued in Fort Worth court that Dean didn't get a fair trial due to the intense media coverage in Tarrant County, and that two judges had made a mistake by each denying a change of venue. I don't believe no mistake was the only mistake made. They didn't give him a longer sentence. In his opening statement to clear Dean, Gill suggested that the latest proceeding had caused a major commotion in the media, saying, "I don't remember a time where I saw oral argument in a case make the front page of the Star Telegram above the fold," in reference to Fort Worth's local newspaper, according to a new report on the case by Law and Crime. Part of our argument is based on the extensive publicity, and part of our argument is based on the fact that all of the publicity was generated by a dangerous combination of individuals in Tarrant County, Gill added. Elected officials, high ranking social officials, police officials, many people all contributed to the narrative in this case that led to Aaron Dean's conviction. So, a judge in the case has yet to issue a ruling. Dean was convicted in the case a year ago in December. Back in August, Dean's defense filed a court brief claiming that jurors were provided with inaccurate definitions of manslaughter and murder when they were sent away for deliberations at the time, and Gill's argument this time around was centered primarily on pretrial publicity. And that's not a good enough reason to throw out a manslaughter conviction. So what? A lot of these cases have gotten a lot of publicity. Derek Chauvin, he got a lot of publicity too. So what? A judge does not have to grant him a change in venue. They don't have to do that. Amber Geiger, she was another one that got a lot of publicity. They act like when they request a change in venue and they don't get it, then they have a way out. No, you don't. No, you don't. That does not have to be granted to Aaron Dean, and it wasn't. So Dean could have faced 99 years behind bars if the jury had convicted him on the change of murder, and which earlier he pled not guilty. Instead, jurors delivered a verdict, determined a reasonable person in an officer's shoes would have responded with the same deadly force, reducing his potential time in prison by many decades. The tragic shooting happened on October 12th, 2019, as Jefferson played video games with her then 8-year-old nephew, Zion Carr, when they heard a noise outside that led the aunt to grab her gun. And she was a legal gun carrier. She was legal. Moments earlier, a concerned neighbor had called the police to conduct a wellness check. Yeah, and Aaron Dean made a wellness check deadly. Okay, he made a wellness check deadly. So the neighbor noticed the front door was open, and it's really unfortunate that they did not just want to go across the street to make sure their neighbors were okay instead of calling the police. So anyway, it was Jefferson who propped open the door, and they said it was a pretty hot day, and that's why she had the door propped open. All right. And it was a non-emergency call that Dean made into an emergency, when all he had to do was go to the door and yell that the police was there. Instead of doing that, he walks in the back of the house, looks in the window, shines a light in the window, and then shoots. I mean, that what kind of police work is that? So, of course, she didn't know what was going on, and from the testimony, he didn't announce who he was. He's just in the back shining a light in the window. She doesn't know what's going on. So inside, Jefferson approached the window with her gun, unaware the police were feet away. Dean immediately fired through the window where he spotted Jefferson, although prosecutors claimed the officer could not see whether she was actually holding a gun due to how quick he fired the fatal shot. The body camera footage revealed that Dean instructed the woman to raise her hand, but remember, when he said it, he also shot her at the same time. But the main thing was he failed to identify himself. He went in this woman's backyard, shined a bright flashlight through her window. He never announced himself, never said, "This is the police," nothing. So Dean later claimed self defense. No, and I'm glad nobody bought the self defense argument, but he tried. Don't they always do that? They always do that, even when it's clearly not isn't that what Hannah Payne tried to say too? When even that was not no self-defense? These people kill you trying to use self-defense for everything. So at the time of the shooting, then Fort Worth Police Chief Ed Crass said Dean had no excuse for using lethal force to kill Jefferson. And he and then Fort Worth Mayor Betsy Price expressed regret for initially emphasizing that the victim was armed as a possible rationale for the shooting. So, in his argument before the court, Gill sought to target these public statements as well as those made by then District Attorney Sharon Wilson, saying they were prejudicial to the defendant and potentially damaging to his right to an impartial jury and a fair trial. Gill, meanwhile, went further to overturn Dean's conviction, arguing that various statements by public officials helped ignite a public firestorm that quickly turned this case into a racial matter. Lawyers for the state, however, countered that almost half of the potential jurors claimed they had not heard about the case. But Dean's attorney suggested jurors might not have always been honest and could be biased due to media coverage. In the aftermath of the trial, Wilson continues to face criticism for failing to seal a murder conviction against Dean, with civil and legal advocates asserting that her office did not allocate enough resources to prosecute the former officer. Also, in late November, the city of Fort Worth awarded $3.5 million settlement for Zion, who witnessed the tragic death of his aunt more than 4 years ago, earlier in a fateful series of circumstances. The funds are being oversaw by Zion's guardian for his continued care, and much of the money will be placed in a savings plan for his future, including a college package and annuity payments until he turns 40. So, y'all, Aaron Dean should not get anything overturned. He needs to shut up and do that little bit of time that he got. You lucky you only got 12 years for just straight up murdering a woman. Please. These people crack me up. Always trying to wiggle. You notice when they go to jail, all they do is whine the entire time, but our people are supposed to sit around and just take it. Unbelievable. Y'all tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.